Hi, we're here with Colin Gwynn from 3D Robotics, and behind us is the Solo, which is billed as the first smart UAV. Colin, tell us a little bit about this UAV that we have behind us. It's built specifically for GoPro, right?
It is. It is tailored for the GoPro in its inception and at launch, because what we found is that most people that we've talked to and said, you want to fly around a camera and get aerial video, they say, well, I want to fly my GoPro because I already have it. It's a great camera. I use it for other things, and my post-production workflow can stay the same. And so, at its introduction, it is for the GoPro specifically. We're the first company that can actually control the GoPro through the Hero Bus from our app. So you can start and stop video, take photos, change a frame rate or field of view or white balance or whatever you want. Right from our app at long range. It's the only solution I know of that'll give you HD video from a GoPro to an iOS or Android device with less than 150 milliseconds of latency, or right out of the HDMI port that's on the controller.
The controller you use for piloting this thing, it's not your average RSC controller either. It's got a computer in it and a lot of other smarts. Can you tell us about that?
Well, that's what makes Solo the world's first smart drone, right? Is that it's got a 1 gigahertz processor Linux OS computer in the drone, besides the autopilot. So you still have an autopilot, the Pixhawk 2, but you've got this Linux computer that commands the autopilot what to do in real time, so that the autopilot's not having to do all that processing, which increases the likelihood of it freezing and locking up and flying away, right? So we don't make the autopilot do any of that hard work anymore. And then that same gigahertz processor Linux computer drives the controller. So we've got a full Linux computer in the controller. Now these two Linux computers communicate over a high-powered Wi-Fi link that gets you anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000 feet of range, depending on the Wi-Fi environment you're in. And so with those computers now, and then also the connection that your mobile device has to the internet, we can literally bring down information from the internet to enhance the way the drone is flying, or know when and where you are at what time, and then look at the internet to see what the local regulations might be wherever you're standing at that moment of time. So just really integrating, looking at what the wind speed and direction is at your location, and then using that to help give you flight time remaining alerts based on how far away the drone is from your current location. So it's a fully connected internet device that is also a drone. And then we can leverage those computers to do things like these scripted cinematic shots that just no other drone in the world can do. Where you can literally set a start frame, set an end frame, one button at each place, and then hit play. And not only does a copter go through X, Y, and Z space from the computer, but it actually controls the rotation, so the pan and the tilt of the camera, all 5 axes in combination with each other, and it could be your very first time to ever fly a drone, and you're getting some of the most dynamic shots that you can get with a drone, some of the most difficult shots to get. One of the shots that people really love to get is to wrap around something, right? And so you see a lighthouse on the beach, you want to get this beautiful shot wrapping around it. With Solo, you literally point at that, press a button that says orbit, and then hit play. And it starts orbiting. It really automates the process of getting great shots, and it takes this really, really advanced flight control system that I'm sure a lot of your engineers know about, which is APM Copter, that is extremely capable, but also kind of complex to use. And we've taken all that capability and created a really great mobile app interface that makes the whole UX of using that just super, super easy.
One of the other aspects of this that's kind of cool is that the electric motors are actually modular, so they pop out. Can you talk to us about that?
That's all about the user experience. So we have a gimbal bay, which you'll be able to put different gimbals and camera systems in later. So it's GoPro now, but in a year from now, maybe there's 5, 6, 8 different gimbals that you can put on it. Same thing with the motor pods. There's only 4 moving parts that make the drone fly, 4 brushless motors. So with Solo, we want it to be really field serviceable, right? And so the motor pods are an ESC and motor in a single pod. 4 Phillips head screws. The motor pod comes out and unplugs. You just take a new one, plug it in, drop it, 4 screws, you're back in the air in 5 minutes. So, and that means that really serviceable at launch, but maybe a couple months down the road, all of a sudden we have, really high-end, super, super high-quality motors that would be too expensive to spec for every Solo we ship, but maybe it's like getting really high-end summer tires for your sports car, right? You're going to lose a little flight time, but the thing's going to fly even faster and even more powerful, or lift a heavier payload or whatever. So it gives us the ability to make, replacement motor pods down the road.
That's cool. That's cool technology, Colin.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for taking us through it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.